Hi, my name is Daryl Horton, and I'm an information and knowledge manager. I currently work for the Marine Corps providing information and knowledge management planning and support. And today I want to talk to you about organizational relationships and operational support as it relates to information and knowledge management. Commanders in a military environment and business executives in a business environment exercise command and control of situations by leveraging information and applying knowledge gained through the understanding of that information. They make decisions in order to quickly control the challenges that confront them. In order to make these decisions, they not only require quality information to understand situations and events, but they also require competent staff members who can provide that information and understanding needed to produce the knowledge required to make those decisions. Critical to the receipt of quality information is the management of this information, along with the processes and procedures that move isolated points of data to well-developed repositories of knowledge. Complicating this process is the influence a type of environment exerts on the use of this information, and thus the decisions being made. Key to the successful execution of command and control is not only an understanding of the differences between information management and knowledge management, but also an understanding of how to implement and execute both information and knowledge management in complex environments. So here are a few quick definitions. The Marine Corps defines information management as the sum of all activities involved in the identification, collection, filtering, fusing, processing, dissemination, and usage of information. The Army defines knowledge management as the art of creating, organizing, applying, and transferring knowledge to facilitate situational understanding and decision-making. Knowledge management supports improving organizational learning, innovation, and performance. Knowledge management processes ensure that knowledge products and services are relevant, accurate, timely, and usable to commanders and decision-makers. Now, the Navy defines knowledge management as the cornerstone of decision superiority, knowledge dominance, and information superiority. Knowledge management is a discipline that guides information and knowledge processes with the ultimate goal of helping to deliver mission effects. It is at the heart of force transformation. Information and knowledge management activities must not only be embedded in daily operations, but must also become a part of the organizational culture. Information and knowledge are critical to the success of operations in today's information age environment. Centralizing access to information and knowledge provides the means to develop agility and dominance. Smaller organizations must achieve net centricity and information and knowledge superiority in order to achieve the type of success normally associated with larger organizations. In short, yesterday's stovepipe systems, which includes people, processes, and technologies, must be integrated in order to meet this new requirement and to achieve the ability to do more with less. Now, the operational architecture of an organization includes key personnel whose work requirements will be distributed across key areas. The combination of activities from information and knowledge management and C4I provide the operational architecture the commander or the business executive requires in order to execute command and control. Personnel normally viewed as belonging to the communications or the IT section or division must now serve two masters. These personnel, as a result of the information age environment organizations conduct operations in, now provide support not only to the COM or IT section or division, but also to the information and knowledge manager in order to support the operational requirements. Now on to some key relationships within the organization. Information management is still relatively underdeveloped within the Marine Corps, and knowledge management is just now getting some attention within the Marine Corps. The information and knowledge manager is the guy responsible for translating operational requirements into an information and knowledge management plan that includes the integration of people, processes, and technology. This plan is then supported by the COM or IT section or division, who develops the C4I plan that supports the information and knowledge management plan. And both the information and knowledge management plan and the C4I plan ultimately support the operational plan for the organization. Some of the key areas that the information and knowledge manager will be focused on include management, configurations, design, rules and policy, support, and training, just to name a few. He's really looking at these systems from a front-end perspective, not to take away anything from the C4I, the IT, or the communications section or division, they're going to be focused on the back end of those systems, providing those technologies to support the information and knowledge management plan. Now I want to talk a little bit more about information and knowledge management, because a lot of folks, especially within the Marine Corps, think that knowledge management is something we already do as a part of information management. But they are two separately areas of focus with their own set of processes that support information management and processes that support knowledge management. Here's one way to look at the differences between the two and why both are important to an organization. So within an organizational system, knowledge management focuses on the organization's human capital. Knowledge management is supported by activities associated with learning management and training management, just to name a couple of areas within the organization. Now, within the organizational system, knowledge management, information management, and data management provide the organization with the means to achieve agility and remain dominant within its sector of business, which for the military is warfare. So what is knowledge? We know that data are facts. We also know that data grouped together can produce some information. Therefore, information is data in context. But if that information was of no value at all for the person using it, it's just information and nothing more. That makes knowledge information that has value to the person or the organization using it. I'm not saying anything you haven't heard before. What you may not have heard before, or what may not be commonly accepted, is the fact that data, information, and knowledge all exist simultaneously within the same space. It's the fact that data, information, and knowledge all exist simultaneously within the same space. The hierarchy that we place data, information, and knowledge within only exists because human beings organize themselves that way. Therefore, what may be knowledge at one level in the hierarchy may only be data or information at a higher level within the hierarchy. In a flat organization, data, information, and knowledge exist within a patchwork of networks. In one place, you'll have data. In another, you'll have information. And in these two may exist within another network as knowledge. This should spark another stream of discussions about the right way to organize ourselves, but that'd be a whole separate topic. So how that is data, is used determines what it is, or rather what it becomes at any given moment, whether it's data, information, or knowledge within a hierarchy or a flat organization at any given moment, because they exist simultaneously in the same space as I said before. So the ability to control and manage this transformation is what organizations should be focused on. The existence of data, information, and knowledge is directly tied to the type of medium, system, and or environment it will be used in. The various agents within the system provide the means for one or the other to exist, i.e. you need people in your system if you want to develop any type of knowledge, if you want to move that information to knowledge. How does the system work? Here's an example. The human being is a self-contained, self-organizing system. We take in data through one of our 5 senses, and once grouped, we generate information about our environment. We later reflect on this information to produce some knowledge about what is going on and how we should react to it. The question most people ask is, can you manage knowledge? I will answer this question with a question of my own. Can you control any of the variables in that example? If the answer is yes, which I'm sure it is, then you can manage knowledge. The organization as a larger system composed of human beings or individual self-contained, self-organizing systems requires management in order to produce the same effect described in the previous example for the organization, and not just for the individual. If we look again at the individual human being as a system of systems, i.e. the heart is a system, the brain is a system, the lungs is a system, and etc., we can again visualize the similarities between the human system and the organizational system. If any system within the human system fails to operate in accordance with any established objectives, i.e. those associated with living, the entire human system is impacted, meaning you can get sick, you could probably die, something negative is probably going to happen if the system doesn't operate according to those standards or those processes associated with living. So the same is true for the organizational system. If any portion of the organizational system fails to operate in accordance with the organizational objectives, the organization will be impacted. Ensuring the organization is focused on achieving objectives requires management of the processes associated with the three major areas of an organizational system: people, processes, and technology. And I hope that kind of clarified the differences between information and knowledge management and why they're both important to an organization.